Okay, for once I'm actually doing a TNA video. Yes, it has been a long time since I've done a video on anything to do with this wrestling promotion. Simply because at the end of 2007, I just found myself getting sick of it. I found myself getting sick of like the nonsense that was TNA Impact, and the pay-per-views just weren't interesting me enough to invest my time and keep watching them. And through 2008 I watched bits and bobs, I watched the odd pay-per-view. I really enjoyed Bound for Glory last year, I thought that was a good pay-per-view. And I saw bits and bobs of good stuff from last year, barely watched any Impacts. I watched the first 2 hours of Genesis this year, and I really enjoyed that. Angle versus Jarrett was really good, as was Sabin versus Shelley for the X Division title. And then I just didn't bother from then. You know, I've read bits of stuff about what was going on in TNA and heard a bit on radio shows and obviously through YouTube videos, and just thought, fuck that, I'm not wasting my time with it. And also I've been busy in my life and stuff, so you know, there's only so much time you can invest to like watching wrestling sometimes. But over the past few weeks I've heard Impact was improving, so I thought I'd give it a go, watch a little bit of the Impacts leading up to Slammiversary, and yes, it is more bearable to watch. And I like the fact that Raven and Stevie Richards are together, and it's cool to see Daphne from 10 years ago, because I remember I used to watch her at the end of WCW with Crowbar and David Flair, and they used to be like one of my highlights, entertainment wise that was. And yes, the Impacts are improving. There's still not enough wrestling on them, but and to me it's still a bit of a comedy show, but it's more of a bearable comedy show to watch, and it's a bit better to watch. I don't think I'll watch it religiously right as of now, but it is regaining my interest a little bit. But yeah, I watched a fair few matches from Slammiversary. I didn't watch them in order. I thought I'd watch a bit of this. I've never seen a King of the Mountain match before, and basically it is a reverse ladder match, and something to do with like if one of your opponents gets pinned, they get put in a penalty box for 2 minutes, and then the person who had the pin is eligible to put the ladder on. Yeah, too many fucking rules, but nonetheless, the X Division one worked a lot, I thought. It had a lot of high spots, was very action packed. As I was saying, the X Division version of the King of the Mountain match I think worked really well. The participants in it were doing all the great stuff. It was like an X Division match with like bits of entertainment in it, but for someone who hasn't watched much Impact in recent times, suicide. Really, I've got the TNA game, I got it last year. I found it fun for about 2 minutes and then just didn't play it. That kind of character, I thought, is in the context of a video game it's good, but in a wrestling show that kids are gonna watch, a superhero masked hero called Suicide, that doesn't fucking work for me whatsoever. And he retained the title. Sure, it may be Kaz under the mask or whoever, but I was really hoping someone else was going to win, preferably Chris Sabin. And it's mad the amount of work the Motor City Machine Guns put into stuff. And if, as a lot of people saying, if anyone deserves credit in TNA, it's those guys. And also, I am a big Jay Lethal fan. And Consequences Creed, I still need to see a bit more of him. I'm entertained by him. But yeah, this match was probably my favourite match I saw from this pay-per-view. What else did I see? I also saw the Monsters Ball match. I thought this was very entertaining as well. Just a real good, entertaining, hardcore match. Yeah, Abyss and Taylor Wilde against Daphne and Raven. I enjoy the whole thing with Raven and Stevie Richards and Daphne. I think that's a cool little trio there. Yeah, awesome. Awesome, the bumps and lengths Taylor Wilde and Daphne went to. And Daphne's doing a really good job of helping Taylor Wilde get over, I think. Because Taylor Wilde is just another, to me, she was just another bland knockout. But she actually put a hell of a lot of effort into this match, and fair play to her. And Raven looks in shape again, I like that. And Abyss was being Abyss and is on form. Just a very fun match, I thought. It was cool. What else to say? I think I only saw 4 or 5 matches because I wasn't interested in the rest. The tag match, like Beer Money and Team 3D. Just a good standard old school tag match, I thought. And I like the British Invasion going in commentary. And let me talk about the commentary. Don West as a heel. I love it. I crack up even more. But it's like more now that it more now feels that I'm laughing with him rather than at him. Like when he insults Mike Tenay. And I think that's a very good thing. And that is something much needed in wrestling right now. A straightforward heel commentator that just has back and forth banter with the face commentator or the play-by-play man or whatever. And it's very good. It adds a really good dynamic. And it added a good dynamic to this match when the British Invasion were on commentary. And like Don West was all buddying up to them and that. And they're a group I want to see more of. Obviously Doug Williams is a great wrestler. Yeah, just quite a fun old school tag match, I guess. Nothing really special. And then there's the main King of the Mountain match. And when watching this, I felt sad for Mick Foley. It's like, fuck man, like he's one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. I just want him to retire now, basically. Just don't get in the ring in that kind of match, Mick, please. I mean, I would have preferred to seen him in something like the Monsters Ball, where he could like use lots of shortcuts, like thumbtacks or whatever with someone. But God, I don't know, I just don't get it. Maybe I haven't seen enough impacts with him on, or whatever, like, to see what he was like, but, yeah. Jeff Jarrett and AJ were in this, and as is Samoa Joe. And I haven't seen much of Samoa Joe with this gimmick, but fucking hell, now he's turned heel, I hope they can wipe that penis off his face, because that is ridiculous. He's really let himself go a bit, but... yeah, it's sad. It's sad about Samoa Joe, because I remember years ago, when I was first getting into TNA, I was talking to my wrestling friend, who's been a fan of wrestling like for as long as me, but hasn't really delved into other organisations as much as I have, obviously other than WWF, WWE, and he was like saying, oh, Samoa Joe just looks like a fatty, or whatever, I'm not impressed. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? This guy is like one of the most talented wrestlers in the world today. But unfortunately, when I've been seeing him beat up Booker T and Scott Steiner and that, I've just been thinking he's right, you know? And that's a shame. But hopefully he can get back to the Samoa Joe I want to know and love. And yeah, there was the swerve turn. Samoa Joe's now buddy with Angle, and I thought it worked within the context of this match, but this match wasn't anything special. It was fairly entertaining, but yeah, I thought either Jarrett or Angle were going to be the next ones to be champ, and it's quite predictable. Hopefully AJ can take it off him at some point, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Joe as part of an alliance with Angle, maybe the main event Mafia. I'm looking forward how they're going to explain themselves out of this one after Joe wanting to kill all of them and stuff and making Booker T internally bleed. But yeah, all in all, quite entertaining. As entertaining as a lot of things I've seen from WWE in the past few months. And I probably will be watching a bit more Impacts as time goes on. Okay, that's my thoughts.